Thank you for bringing yourself to this practice where we're going to combine some somatic movement, so gentle floor-related movements, with some yin holds. Although I say yin, I'm also going to invite you to use props so it's more restorative, more supportive. And I've got a couple little bolsters here. You could also use pillows, a blanket. You are going to want a blanket. And if you don't have a slippery floor, do your best to find a slippery floor, but also a washcloth may work, something to slide on your floor. And I've got a long strap. If you don't have a strap, I'll show it without it, but strap would be good. And finally, your slow-mo ball. So lots of props in today's class, but this is about releasing and relaxing your hips, your pelvis. So we're going to get started on the ground. And before you go down, what I recommend you do is take your mat and fold it under, fold about a good third of it underneath you, because you're going to want that slippery floor available to you eventually. So we won't use the full mat. You can see also I like a little extra fur underneath me, as well as fur at either end of me, the living, fuzzy, potentially snoring kind. Come down onto the ground. Take a sigh out your mouth. That just comes naturally sometimes. Feel free to wiggle, squiggle, move your shoulders, your hips. Take a breath in and yawn. Full body yawn. Stretch. You can stretch out your legs too. And exhale. Let it go. And just set the intention for yourself to explore the relationship. So the somatic part will be about finding the muscles and turning them on, because generally muscular pain, when we have any sort of pain in the pelvis, the hips, it's because muscles aren't moving. So the somatics gets the muscles moving. And then when we go into the yin part, it's about letting the muscles relax and going into the tissue, the deep tissue. So a lot of times those muscles are tight. That means the connective tissue, the fascial tissue, is also grumpy, or it has some sort of adhesion. So we're going to put those two together. And now I invite you to place your feet on the ground in a constructive rest position. You can find your front hip bones, line those up with the centers of your knees and your middle toes. And just feel your whole backside, as well as your feet and the base of your skull. Maybe finding the floor under the backside by breathing into the backside. Just use the ground for feedback. Landing into the ground. And then this first movement we do is about bringing space into the front of the hips, so creating space in the hip flexors, and also stretching our psoas a little bit, but we'll also be bringing the hip into the opposite hip into flexion. So it starts by finding our arch and curl. As you breathe in, you're going to press into the tailbone and or lift the belly, lift the low back. Breathe out, press the low back down, lift the tailbone. So this is a movement from the pelvis, rocking forward on the inhalation, back on the exhalation. If it's not happening, you can try to use your legs a little bit, especially on the exhale. Push into your feet. But eventually see if you can let your legs stay more soft, the feet like they're just floating on the ground. And think of your pelvis rocking back and forth, forward on the inhale and back on the exhale. And notice as you rock forward, your low back gets shorter and more compressed. And as you rock back, your low back gets long. Take another moment to sense that. And then feel the front body as you rock forward on your inhale. Front body rises and expands. As you rock back, front body contracts. So as we do the somatic movement, the opportunity is going to be there to make that exhalation more active. So as you draw it in through the navel center and even the pelvic floor on your exhalation, feel that active contraction. Release it as you breathe in. Okay, so the next part is we'll just take that left leg long. Notice if there's any pulling in the front of the thigh. You can shake it out. If there's too much pulling, then take one of those bolsters, a ball, something, and put it underneath your thigh, particularly if you feel the pulling in your low back, if your back suddenly arched. But let the leg relax and just take a few arches and curls again. Notice as you inhale and arch forward, there's less stretching or tension placed on the front of the left thigh. As you exhale and press low back and low ribs down, draw in through the navel center. You're going to feel a little more spacious in that inner thigh, or the hip crease on the left leg. So this is a really nice way to start to hydrate psoas. You can see if your head is responding, so the skull would rock with the pelvis forward on the inhale, nose towards your tail, and back on the exhale, tail towards your nose. Anytime you want, you can stop and relax. We're going to add the next part on otherwise. So this left leg is completely relaxed. No need to push through it right now. And now as you inhale, you're still going to arch. But as you exhale, I want you to push through the left leg. Turn your toes up, so feel the engagement. And also draw the right thigh into your body. So this is our active phase. If you thought about being, I'll just turn over and show you. If we were in a lunge in yoga, this is our lunge pose. And it's active. We're hugging the muscles. But because we're restoring today, we get to do it on our back. Think of how active you'd be if you were on your knee in a lunge. So inhaling and arching, you can relax. Exhale, press through the left foot, draw that right leg in. So I'm not using my hands, I'm using the muscles of the right leg. Arch the back. Exhale, draw in through the navel center, pelvic floor, and activate both legs. Inhale, down, release, arch the back. Take a few more on your own. And then if this feels okay, you can continue to do it the way we are with the right knee bent. Or what I like to do is to extend the right leg. So as I exhale, I'm going to take that leg up towards the sky, get a little more stretch through the back of the thigh. You could inhale, place the foot back on the ground. I like to do that a few times. Exhale, extend through the right leg, extend through the left leg. So notice how one front of the hip is stretching out, that left one, and the pocket in the right hip is compressing. And you're feeling that stabilization through your abdominal wall and your pelvic floor. If you want to kick it up even a little bit more, as you inhale, you can arch and let that right leg go long. I even hover it over the floor a little bit. But if this pulls on your low back at all, don't add the leg extending. Exhale, slowly lift it up, activate both legs. So if you do classic yoga, it's almost like you're standing in a warrior 2 pose or warrior 3 pose here. Hips are squared off. You can even check, you can touch the front of the hip points. So this is the active part. Getting the muscles to move through their range of motion. So the somatics part is for the muscles. The yin part is for the connective tissue. All right, and we're going to get ready for that yin hold. The first option would be to go back, especially if you had that leg bent. Have this leg bent, draw it in. So this might be where you hold and we relax all the muscles. If you want a deeper stretch through that left hip, what I like to do is take a bolster, a pillow, something, put it underneath the pelvis. Just raise your buttocks up a little bit, put it on a pedestal, and then you'll notice you're going to be a little bit more stretchy, more tension put on that left leg, but we're still completely relaxed. But what I really love to do, should have grabbed my strap while I was there, is to get that right leg long with as little effort as possible. So that's where the strap can come in. And I'm going to put the strap in the middle of the foot because I want to relax the muscles. So it's in the fascial tissue, the soft tissue of the foot. You'll notice it's a nice long strap. And instead of holding it with my arms, what I do here is I take the strap and put it around the back of the skull. I know this one looks funny, but it feels really good. And you have to get your head at the right height. Make sure it's not too long, too short. I'm just going to lengthen mine just a little bit. And we'll be here. So play with where you want to be in this. Two things happening. Right leg is in flexion, right hip, and left leg or hip in extension. And that's it. Your version. You can also have this leg bent. Can you relax the muscles? And think of bringing your breath down into your belly. Each breath out, let your right leg and thigh bone fall into the right hip. Next breath out, let the back of the left thigh and hip fall into the ground. It's like you're just taking a big step. And this is a passive stretch. So muscles relax onto the bones. Want to make sure we're not overdoing it. Sometimes it's nice to keep a little bend in the knee so you're not overstretching the connective tissue in the knee joint itself. So you can always bend your knee or soft knee. And I invite you to go into that space of stillness. Be here for another minute or so and just breathing to any sensation. Letting your breath fill your pelvis. Breathing to the belly. Check in if your mind wanders. Come back to the sensations within your hips. Feel the spaciousness of the left front hip crease. I feel the stretch in the back of the right buttocks. Compression in the right hip crease. And just breathing the whole surrounding area of the pelvis. The weight of the leg bones fall into the ground. Each breath out. Breathe in, create space in the hips. Take 5 to 8 more rounds of breath. Okay. We always come out of yin posture slowly, and particularly if you're with me with the head in the strap, I'll come out really slow. You'll want to engage the muscles in front of the throat, so you might even tuck your chin a little bit. Take the strap off. Slowly let your head come down using those muscles in the front of the throat. It's like a little counter pose. And then releasing the leg down. Let that knee bend. So everything slowly. Feel yourself moving. You can slide your left leg in. And I'll encourage you for a moment, if you did put something underneath your pelvis, to take it out. And take both legs long. If you need some movement, some shaking, anything more active, do that for yourself. Otherwise, just take this moment to be still and take the magic moment to feel the two sides of your body, particularly your hips, your legs growing out of your hips. Just sensing the space. When we're relaxing into the yin or in the magic moment, it can be a nice time to reset your nervous system with that belly breath, to breathe into the abdomen, feel it rise. Breathe out in that soft, passive exhalation. We don't need to draw in through the core right now. The exhalation just happens. And we'll be doing the second side. So let's take some arch and curls first, both feet on the ground. Shift your pelvis around so it's comfortable. And inhaling into the arch, both sides equally. So we come back to something a little more symmetrical and even. Exhale, curl. Let both hips move together. Inhaling and arching. Exhaling and curling. And notice if your legs feel different now as you do this arch and curl. And then when you're ready, we'll be taking the right leg out long. It should be relaxed during this part. So if it's not relaxed, feel free to put a bolster or something underneath it if you feel too much tightness in the front of that hip crease. Let the toes fall out if they want to fall out. Inhaling and arching and exhaling and curling. And you'll sense on the arch, the low back tightens, but there's less tension in the front of that right hip. But as you curl and press the low back down, lengthen the low back, you're going to feel that little stretch perhaps in the inner groin area, inner hip. Moving from your pelvis. So we're slowly working our way into spaciousness in the front of the right hip. Right leg relaxed for the moment. And then we're going to get more engaged, more recruitment of the muscles. So with this one, on the exhalation, you can turn your right toes up towards the sky, push through the ball of the foot and the heel of the foot, draw your kneecap up. So notice that right leg's engaged. And then on the exhale, you're also drawing that left leg in actively. You can press the low back down, draw your navel center in and pelvic floor. So very strong at the bottom of the exhalation. Inhale, drop that left foot down, release the muscles in the legs, arch the back. Exhale, curl and engage. So on the exhalation, we're recruiting that left psoas, actively stretching the right one. So left side shortening, right side lengthening. And oftentimes the two sides have different things to say to you. So I'm continuing right now to do it with the bent knee, but last time there was also the option of doing the straightening of the leg. So as you exhale, you might press through the heel, get a little more stretch through the hamstrings and the back of the buttocks there, back of the pelvis. Inhale, arch, foot to the ground. Exhale, curl. I have very baggy pants on today. Some of my old granola pants. Curling and arching. And then if you want to bring the spice level up a little bit more, you're going to exhale, curl. So draw in through your navel center, activate the legs. Inhale, you're going to stay more active as you arch because that low back is arching. You want to keep the legs active. Exhale, press the low back down, bring that leg up. Just an option. So a little activity, wake up the muscles. Can you feel the muscles hugging the bones in both legs? Notice on the inhale, abdominal muscles release, low back engages. Exhale, low back releases, abdominal muscles engage. So they're taking turns, front and back of the pelvis. Feel free to take one or two more. Maybe you're doing the bent knee version. And then we're going to find the stop. The stop and rest could just be bringing that left leg in, keeping the right leg long, but we'd relax the right leg, shake it out, let all the muscles go. If you want a little more stretch for the top of the right thigh, the hip crease there, your hip flexor, you could take the bolster, folded pillow, something underneath your buttocks. Just check when you do that too, that the low back is still long. If the prop is too high up towards the top of your hips, you're going to find your low back is arched, and it usually feels nice to keep your low back longer. So that's option 2 there with the bolster underneath, knee still bent. So think of like this is just like your lunge in yin. We do dragon pose. It's like dragon's pose. If you want to go a little bit further with me, I like to take the strap. This is the one that looks kind of funny, but it feels great to me, putting the strap around the arch of the foot. You're going to take your leg long and then take the other end of the strap. You got to have this nice long strap. Put it behind the back of the skull. Usually it goes right over my ears. Now this side is my right side. My psoas is a lot tighter. So I'm going to be cautious with how much I bring that left leg towards me. And I know if I'm going too far because my muscles will tighten. They'll try to restrict. They'll try to protect me by engaging. So can you stay relaxed? Let the weight of the legs be heavy, wherever you're choosing to be. Soften the abdomen, breathe to the abdomen. Passive stretching, very different than active stretching. We're letting the abdomen be soft. Just as the muscles are relaxed, the exhalation is passive and soft. Feel the weight of your thigh bones, right thigh bone falling into the ground, left thigh bone just falling into the hip. And your head's heavy and supported, particularly if you're using your strap. If you feel like it's too much, especially through the back of the hamstrings, the back of the buttocks, little bend in that left knee goes a long way. Or at least keeping the knee soft. We don't want to hyperextend it. Usually I know in a yin posture if I'm in the right spot, because rather than feeling it deep into the joint, it's really along the whole length of all the fascial tissue in the back of that left leg, or the whole length of the front of the pelvis in the right leg and the front of the thigh. So spread out the love. And leave you here and just be in the space of your body. Is your breath still smooth and calm? And take 5 to 8 more rounds of breath. No effort, the ground is supporting you. The muscles relax. Last breath. If you do have your head up, please think of tucking the chin towards your chest. You can touch your neck. Feel the muscles in the front of the neck engage to take the strap off. Slowly let your head come down. Once the back of the skull lands, soften the throat. And you can bend your left knee. Take that left leg down to the ground. Slide your right leg in. Ha ha ha. Feeling that one. And feel free to take any bolster or pillow out from underneath your pelvis. Just taking both legs long again. Feel free to shake them out. Take a few breaths to your belly, right in the center of your pelvic bowl. Exactly, Milo. All right, we're going to be rolling over onto our front side. And this one, we're going to get a deeper stretch in the inner groins. And this is where we want to have that slippery surface. I'm going to take a blanket. You could also just use a wash rag, little towel, but I like a little more padding, a little more surface area. We'll be starting with the right leg. So rolling onto your belly, move your body slightly to the right side of the mat. And so that right leg is like, it's going to be on a magic carpet. I used to call this the magic carpet. So you're going to get the leg on the blanket, and you can keep the leg bent. And then come down, any supports you want underneath your head or neck or wherever your head or neck need to be. We've got a big dog right there taking his nap. And this is the active phase first. So you might even consider, if you'd like, rolling your left toes underneath you, pushing through that heel. It's a nice way to keep the leg from cramping sometimes too. So you can push through that. And then feel that blanket. So it's underneath my knee joint. It might be underneath your ankle joint too. And as you exhale, draw the thigh all the way up towards your body. So draw the knee towards your armpit or your elbow. Inhale, extend it out. I'm going to move over a little bit. Take it long. Exhale, slide it in. So we're just feeling this nice stretch in the inner thigh. And you're actively using the muscles. You can push into the blanket a little bit. Sometimes in Yin we call this one frog pose. So I'm keeping the knee bent. This happens to be my grumpy side. But you could also, if you want to get a little bit more of the abduction out to the side, you can extend the leg more as you slide it. And I notice when I do that, I get a lot more action in the gluteal muscles too, especially the left side. So where can you feel the muscles turning on around your pelvis to help make this leg movement? Knee bent. It's just two different movements. You could also do sort of circles, right? So we want to wake up the muscles. At the same time, check in with your breath. You can now use the floor on the front body to feel your breath flowing through your body. And as you're playing with this, you might be doing the bent knee version or the straight leg version. Notice where you think you're going to want to land in the posture. So it might be you want to do that bent leg version, like the half frog. You could also do an extended leg version. So your call, and begin to find that space. But this time when you slide into it, relax. Give your pelvis just a little shift side to side. Let the thigh fall into the blanket. We can stay here and breathe. Or if we want to add just a little bit more, sometimes in this posture, we come up onto the forearms. But at this point, you're releasing and relaxing the muscles in the buttocks. Feel that nice, easeful stretch in your inner thigh and the right side. If it's not, take it down more. Inner knee heavy into the blanket. And any upper body version that you like. See, Milo's taking his hands up towards the sky. We could take our hands overhead if you want, or in front of you. Also just resting. And typically in this portion of the practice, we try to remain still, but there's no set golden rule. To me, if your body is grumping at you and something just doesn't feel right, then change it. Don't deny it. Or if your body invites you to go deeper, do that. Can you get the sensation of the right thigh coming into the hip? Every breath out, just release the front of the right hip, the inner right hip crease to the ground. Relax the muscles in the buttocks. There's a beautiful rain here. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, if you hear it in the video, but rain always helps me to feel like I can let go into the ground. Just imagine being soggy and wet. See if there's anywhere else you can release a little bit more. Check the back of the buttocks. Or any changes you want to make to the position of the right leg. Taking your last 5 deep breaths. If your head's up, bring it back down. Engage that right leg. So feel the muscles in the buttocks turn on. Slide it back in. Feel your inner thigh engage by pushing your knee or your ankle into the blanket. Slide it back to the center. Maybe just shift your hips around a little bit. And just take a few moments in that space of the magic moment to notice the two sides. Feel the inner groins. Sense the spaciousness in the back of the pelvis. And I'm going to flip around. You can just switch your blanket to the opposite side of the mat, that magic carpet. Looking at the potential to run into the dog there. Don't want to wake him up. So on the belly, we're placing the left knee, maybe the ankle on your blanket. Bring your body to the left side of the mat. This is the somatic part, the movement, the action, the voluntary engagement. So notice before you even slide it, if we push into gravity with the knee and the ankle, the inner leg, you're going to engage the muscles. And then with them engaged, you can slide it up and slide it away. I won't be able to slide it very far away unless I move a little bit. So actively taking that leg away and towards you. You can go up and down. You can make little circles. You could extend the leg more. Sometimes it's nice to place your left hand on that left leg and notice what muscles are turning on. Oh, also the opportunity, remember, to turn your right toes under, press through the heel, so you can get a little help from that right butt cheek. It may want to turn on anyhow. It's nice to stabilize the sacrum a little bit more by turning those gluteal muscles on both sides. Keep the neck relaxed, the shoulders. So most of the action is below the waist. Always feel free to vary the movement pattern, right? Because that's how we are in life. Our hip doesn't always come straight into the middle. It's out to the side. It's making circles. Most things are not linear. Notice where you're going and what feels best. Where do you feel like you can let yourself get some nice spaciousness in that inner left groin without too much force? Is it knee bent, leg straight? And see if you want to find that spot. I like to reach my inner thigh away from the hip, let that front hip crease land a little bit more. You can stay down on your chest. Got something under my head, which is lovely. Or on the other side, the option was there to come onto your arms. Some people like to do this one. Relax the muscles now. Release the muscles in the backside, inner thigh. You can locate the left sits bone. Breathe right to that space. If you're doing your soft belly breath, you'll feel the relationship between the abdomen and the ground. And the abdomen presses into the ground as you're breathing in, like the ground is receiving the abdomen. As you breathe out, the abdomen receives the ground. And there's a presence in stillness that is so sacred. And the importance of this space of solitude inside of yourself. See if your body wants any sort of adjustments. Any changes, deepen it, release it. Take your last 5 to 8 breaths. If you are up, let your head, your arms come down, find the ground. Slowly begin to recruit the muscles in the buttocks, the legs. So it's like a counter pose. You want to engage to come out of it. Use those muscles again. All the connective tissues. Slide it back in. You can take your left leg off your magic carpet and shift your hips side to side a little bit. To bring us back more into a space of center, we're going to do one more on the front side here. And this one is particularly about creating space around the sacrum. So the somatic movement we're going to do is very simple. We'll come on to all fours. If you at all feel uncomfortable on all fours, you can be on your forearms instead, or you could take your hands more in front of your shoulders and widen them. But think of this triangular bone that holds your pelvis together. It delivers the weight of your upper body, connects your spine to your pelvis, and then also takes that ground force and brings it up your legs into your spine. So this beautiful sacral area. And just let it move however it wants. So we've done an arch and a curl. That's there. But you can also wag your tail, go side to side, and fill in the blanks. Circles. If it feels better to take your hips back towards your heels, do that. There's no written rule. You're just, sometimes I call this sacral circles, but it might be squares, it could be stars. Just moving your sacrum around and notice the muscles that are helping you to move. You can vary the leg position. So if my knees are together and I do these circles, I feel my inner thighs more, engaging more. I can also do it with my knees wide apart and big toes together. I'm going to feel a little bit more action in my outer hips. So vary that. See if any other part of your body responds. If your head wants to move. See, our dogs don't worry about making the same movement to each side or having specific movement patterns. We don't have to either. Just feel what's releasing and stretching, what's engaging. And then we're going to be taking the slow-mo ball. If you don't have a slow-mo ball, you could use your blanket, maybe just fold it over a little bit. But the ball's going to come in, and I'm about just over half full, usually half to a third is plenty. And I'm going to be placing it right in the front of the abdomen. So think just below the navel center within the pelvis itself. Moving bolsters out of the way. So you'll know when it's in the right spot. It will come into your abdomen a little bit. You can rest the upper body. I like to take the legs a little wider. Just shake them out. Shift them side to side. So if it's too much pressure on your navel center, move it more towards the pubic bone. You're just filling in that space. And just shifting side to side. And the side to side shifting is about releasing and relaxing. And we can think of the hip bones and where they attach. So we call that the SI joint, the sacral joint. The two hip bones come right into the sacred sacrum. We're creating space between the hip bones and the sacrum. Just an easeful space. You can continue to move and rock or even shift your legs side to side or find the place of stillness. And even with the ball there, sometimes you can breathe to the ball, to your belly. And though there will be some restriction where the ball is in the front of the belly, what I like to imagine is I'm breathing to the front of the sacrum. And the front of the sacrum is very sturdy. The spine sits on it, the lumbar spine. Feel that steadiness, but release and relax within the joint. Every breath out, and feel the outer hips relaxing into the ground. Like your buttocks, cheeks are just kind of sliding away from one another. For me, it does help to internally rotate the thighs a little bit. So if your toes are turning out, see what it feels like to turn your toes in. Create even more space in that backside. So resting more on the pinky toe side of the feet than the big toe side. Just take a short moment here to appreciate the sacred sacrum. It's literally the cornerstone of your pelvis, holding everything together. Those strong ligaments, muscles relax, and we're just breathing into those connective tissues. Take your last 5 to 8 breaths. ready to come out of this one, you can push back towards a child's pose or just roll to one side. See what feels best for you. Take that ball out. Sometimes I take the ball out, just come back onto the belly for a moment. Just feel, can you feel like you're wider through your backside, creating that space? Moving slow. We've got one more posture. And this last posture movement combination is going to take us into Shavasana, or relaxation. So this is where I'm going to want a bolster for each side for my knees. You can do that, set those up. I also have my strap, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the strap here. We're going to do Baddha Konasana, which will do more of the inner thigh stretching, but we'll be active first. So taking the feet together, and the key with doing this one is if you want to stretch your groins more, then bring the heels closer to your buttocks. This is very different. I'm part of the tight hip club, so this feels very different to me. Big stretch in here and a lot of compression in the knees versus taking the heels further from your pelvis. For me, this is just a little bit more comfortable. I can stand my sit bones and not quite so much compression in the knees, but you find where your hips want to be. And first, just rock side to side and back and forth. And then we're going to make this active. So you're welcome to take your hands behind you to support you. You could also take your hands to your thighs. I'm going to go behind me first. First, just start to push the big toe side of the feet together. And as you do that, take an exhalation and squeeze the thighs. So you may not come all the way up, but squeeze and feel your inner thighs turn on your exhale. Inhale, push the pinky toe side of the feet more together and open up. Exhale, push and squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, push and squeeze. I'm starting with just feeling my inner and outer hips and thighs. Again, making any exchanges with where your heels are in relation to the base of your spine. And then I also like to add a little bit of the tilting of the pelvis. So I like to inhale, arch forward as I open, pushing the feet together, pinky toe side. Exhale, arch back, squeeze. Don't have to add the spine, but you can. Mostly about feeling inner and outer hips coming forward and back and squeezing. If you want to feel it a little bit more too, what I sometimes do is take my hands to the inner thighs, push into the inner thighs on your exhale. Inhale, push into the outer, push your thighs, outer thighs into your hands. Exhale. And inhale. Taking a pause anytime you need to. All right, we're going to take this one into a relaxation space. It's where I really like the strap for this. And the strap goes around your waist. Particularly, I like it around the sacrum. So remember where that sacred sacrum is, low waist. Put it around that. And then it also goes around your feet. So I'm coming to the inner thighs, putting it around my feet. I don't like the buckle on my feet or my legs though. So check to see where you want your heels, how far away from your base of your spine, but leave yourself a little extra room, because what happens is if we tighten up too much, then when we go to recline, lie back, you're going to feel like it's too short on you. So I'm going to take it just to where I think I want it, a little bit away from that. And then keeping that strap on the feet. You'll notice when you go to sit, when you go to lie down, your feet will fly up in the sky probably, right? I'll fix my pants because I like the strap coming right across the inner groins. So I adjust that. You can always keep the belt buckle available to you too and tighten it up. But then I'm also, because I'm doing this for Shavasana for our final relaxation, I'm going to put bolsters underneath the outer thighs. So see where you can meet yourself. See where that strap is across your sacrum, across the front of the inner thighs and groins. Just a space of support. Relax and lengthen the low back. Still in a yin-like posture. And if you'd rather do Shavasana with your legs long, by all means do that at any time. Come out of this. And if you're staying in it with me, just make sure that you feel fully supported. You can feel the softness of your feet touching. Just a little bit of space in the inner thighs, breathing to the pelvic floor. Abdomen is soft. Focus on your breath out. If it naturally gets a little bit longer and more complete, you can use that each exhalation to release all of the spaces in your body into the ground more. Your whole backside, your skull, releasing the outer thighs towards the ground. Still keeping your awareness in your hips. Just restoring, relieving your hips with your breath, your thoughts, the energy of your thoughts. Ask yourself if there's anything you can do to be a little bit more comfortable for these last few minutes. And if that means coming out of this posture, please do that. Do it so slowly. Whatever position you're in, begin to juice up your hips with your breath again. You could place your hands on your abdomen. Let your hands take a little ride up and down with your breath. Think of your whole pelvis expanding every time you breathe in, the bottom of the bowl, the front, the sides, the back. And gently releasing into the ground each time you breathe out. If you still have your feet in the Baddha Konasana, you could use your hands to help support your legs back up. Take the strap off of your feet. Extend your legs out long, maybe shake them out. Full body yawn. Take your time. Roll to your side. Pause. Thank you for restoring and releasing your hips with me today. I hope it helps you on your journey, whatever it is you do today. Peace, joy, love, and light.